Hello and welcome to the latest Lukozer retro game review video. And for this one it is Mind Control for Commodore 64. This was released by Mastertronic in... I can't remember when this came out. I think 84. I seem to be doing quite a few budget games lately. I don't know why. Just looking through my list of games still to come. There's another Mastertronic game on there as well, so oh. So anyway, yes, this was now cheapo $1.99 game, and it's from the era when the actual presentation is still very much in the basic early Mastertronic style, but the actual gameplay is slightly different. They have put a little bit more in terms of the actual graphical environment and stuff like that. It doesn't alter the fact though that it is still extremely basic, or at least the actual idea and the actual gameplay is extremely basic. Actually getting anywhere in this game can be a lot easier said than done, thanks to quite a major flaw in the game design, especially of level 1, which you'll find out in a moment. So the mission is to destroy the evil Psycho whose brain is kept in a distant room of a hospital. Quite why his brain is kept in a distant room in a hospital is never explained. Anyway, to get to this room you must travel up the 3 levels of the hospital, avoiding the aggressive patients. That's where things get difficult. If you get to the miniaturizing room, you will shrink small enough to enter Zyko's brain. That's where level 2 onwards starts. Anyway, it's just telling us the keys. So yeah, you've got to watch out for patients in level 1 and the white blood corpuscles in level 2 onwards. Now, like all Mastertronic games of this era, it starts the moment the game loads. There's no, press fire to start. So as you can see and hear, as I completely fucked that up, it's very much, old school Mastertronic at the moment. This ghastly fucking, basic tune which plays throughout. Now you can see one of the issues with this level layout is that this level is pretty cramped, especially when you take into account how small your character is. As it is, I made it to the miniaturizing room on my first go. That is extremely rare. So now we enter the brain. And this is where we stay for the rest of the game, because levels 3 onwards, or level 2 onwards, is in here. So you have to make your way around. I just want to make sure, that this is... that was close. I do seem to be making this game look a lot easier than it actually is. Alright, let that fucking thing go past. Alright, so fire the laser, the nucleus destroyed, and I've effectively completed the game, because that's all you do from now on. So level 3, as you can see, it's the same thing, but now the white corpuscles are moving a lot faster, so much so that really this level is a bit ridiculous, because you really got no chance. It's pure luck if you can get through here. Fuck it, there you go. Alright, so we'll go back to the hospital part. And let's get the review part done. So graphically, I've seen a lot worse, but let's face it, it's not great. I mean, the animation on your character, oh, fuck it. The animation on your character consists of just 2 frames. And while, I mean, at the time, the graphics on this level blew me away. I couldn't believe how well done they were. Of course, now I see them and I think, wow, they look really shit. And the problem, of course, is that those like doorways, you can't jump while through them, and because your character is so fucking big, the area is extremely claustrophobic. It's far too small. It's somewhat, you know, it's Trantor syndrome. Then with well, the second level and all subsequent levels, and considering how basic the graphics are here, I guess it does look okay. I mean, it's immediately, you know, recognisable that this is obviously meant to be a brain. In terms of audio, again, it's archetypal early Mastertronic. You know, the audio consists of extremely sparse sound effects and some rather irritating, repetitive music played throughout. Nothing new there. And in terms of the gameplay, well, you know, well, gameplay is extremely simple. I mean, this is, you know, a budget game from 1984. You can't expect too much. Certainly not. Oh, fuck it. Certainly not in, you know. In these days, the idea of being able to get a new game for £2 was like unheard of. Now, this is where we start getting the problems with this layout. So now you got, yeah, you had to try and get through that doorway while you had a patient coming towards you. In the meantime, behind you had another one, and now it's got the same again. So this is where the layout of this level is awful. It's too cramped. You can't move around anywhere easily. I'm gonna be fucking close here. I thought I was gonna fall down that fucking hole for a minute. So yeah, no, so you get that close, but you've now got to come back all this way and try and jump over that cunt, which is easier said than done. So I mean, this is obviously, you know, the most impressive part of the game graphically, but the gameplay on this level is awful, and so are the sound effects. That sound when you jump just goes right through me, and now we're stuck here, and I don't know how the fuck I managed that. And now this cunt coming towards me, and trying to time the jumps to jump over this lot is just, well, not easy, shall we say. So often, yeah, here we go, heading up the stairs, but we can't actually get up them because this cunt comes along, and then you have to try and jump over someone else. So the game is pretty frustrating, or at least level 1 is. Level 2 is pretty easy, so, you know, the game doesn't become annoying on level 2, but oh, fuck it. But level 3 is just ridiculous. You know, the things you have to avoid are moving so fucking fast, you've got no chance of avoiding them. Oh, fuck that. Oh, okay. I'm sure I'd fuck that up. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I might make it to the miniaturising room now. Yeah. The tune here is quite irritating, I think. And also, the size of your laser blast compared to you is a bit ridiculous. It's just another shitty part of the game. Ooh, that was too close. So that's graphics and sound taken care of. None of them are pretty great. As I say, being able to get a game for, you know, $1.99 in '84 was unheard of, so I guess you couldn't really criticise it too much. But by this time, David and Richard Darling were rather taking the piss with the number of games they released that played identically to each other. At least this one had some variation, but the presentation, it was still exactly the same as all the other Mastertronic games. So yeah, as far as variation goes, it's at a minimum. There we go. So on to the ridiculous level 3. I don't know how the fuck I got through there. I think, yeah, because they move so fast, level 3, you've got to rely on blind luck. Anyway, that's more than enough of this game. That's more than I can stand. Yeah, I mean, okay, I have played a lot worse, but it is quite forgettable. But as I keep saying, considering it cost $1.99 in 1984, you couldn't be too overly critical of it. I mean, it was one of the only other way you were able to get like a game for $1.99 was buying one second hand. But you know, an actual brand new game for £2, you had to expect it to be somewhat basic. And compared to the really early Mastertronic games, this is not that basic, but that clearly says more about just how basic the early Mastertronic games were rather than how advanced this is. So I'll give it 4 out of 10. It's not great, but there was far worse at the time. Many of those titles were full price, so yeah, it's not one to really rush out and try. It's more a case of playing this one for nostalgia's sake. I did have this back in the day, and that's probably probably about it. It is the only reason I downloaded it now. If you didn't have it before, then there is just nothing here that, you know, would make anyone think, wow, I've got to download and try that game out now. So yeah, Mind Control for Commodore 64, 4 out of 10. Instantly forgettable, really. So that's this video done. We will see you at the next one.